All right, so today we're going to go over the Realist Tax Overview. So here is the itinerary of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the various points and where you can access your Realist Tax database. And beautiful thing about Realist, it is owned by a company called CoreLogic. It's a third-party vendor we work with, and you can access tax records across the state of California, which is awesome. So you have lots of great information, detailed property reports, and a whole lot more. So we're going to go through a homepage orientation. I'm going to take you through and kind of explain your homepage, some ins and outs. We'll do some basic searching. I do like to show you your search results and grid. Your search results and grid, there's lots of different things you can do with it. There's sort order, there is adding and removing columns. So we'll go through some of that information today. And then last but not least, we are going to talk about address labels and export. So we are going to get into how to leverage this system to maybe do a little bit of a mailer or whatnot. So I will be showing you that as well. All right, so I'm already logged into the system. So let me go ahead and just flip over to the MLS dashboard, and we will jump into some of the different access points for the Realist tax system. So one access point is, well, right here, you're going to see under MLS Essentials, you have access to Realist Tax. So I could click on that, I could launch the tax program and jump right on into it. So I wanted to show that to you. It's right here at your fingertips, right on your MLS dashboard. There's a couple other ways you could get into it as well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we are going to launch Prospector Plus. So let's go ahead and do that. And I want to point out a few other ways you can get into Realist. Well, one of those ways is, and the most popular way is, well, right here. So if I was to click on tax, it would launch Realist. And again, I can then go in and run my searches, find property detail reports or whatever information I'm looking to get from that program. There are some ways you can get into it that aren't as well known. So I want to show those to you. So I'm going to just come to a recent search that I ran in the past few days here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just pull up, how about, I'll do the standard search here. And these are just the last 20 searches or so I've ran within the MLS. Now, so this is a search results page, and here is my one-line grid. This is the display that I am currently looking at right now. And now, if you're wondering, you're like, hey, mine doesn't look like that. Well, I have customized my grid. I always get a lot of questions on that. Not something I'm going to cover in today's Realist class, but just FYI, if you're noticing mine's a little different than yours, that's why. So on the grid, there is a way to access tax information, and that is right here, and I'm going to click on it. Okay, so it looks like a little dollar bill, and let me go ahead and click on that. All right, so once I do, you're going to notice here is the property information. So I see the detail report, I have owner information and location info, tax information, I have assessment and tax, characteristics of the property, the sales score, listing information, last market sale and sale history, and even mortgage history right here. This one even happens to have some foreclosure history, as you can see down below. Now, if I scroll all the way back up to the top, which I'm going to do now, you will see some links. So look at right here. I could go ahead and I could, well, just launch Realist. I could pull comparable properties, a neighborhood report, or you can even print off this detail right here if I'd like. So you have some options. And so I happen to pull that up. Again, I'm going to close out of this. This opens in a separate window. And again, I pull that up right here on my one-line grid, and it is the dollar bill. And if you'll see, if I put my cursor over it, it's very small, but it reads tax info. Now, another way to access tax is, well, by clicking on the listing number. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that right here. So let me go ahead and do that. Now here, if I scroll down, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I can actually click on this hyperlinked APN, assessor parcel number, to access the property detail report. So here I'm gonna click on that. And again, here's the property detail report with all of the information, just like on the previous property I showed you. Launch Realist, comparables, neighborhood profile, and print. Now you will also notice within the property detail, you can pull up a neighborhood report for this property. So let me go ahead and click on that. So if I click on the neighborhood report, it's going to automatically launch Realist. Okay. And I can see a little neighborhood profile. It'll take me demographics, business, and school information it's going to show me. And we'll go into this a little more in depth later on. But that's your Realist neighborhood. Okay, now the last way that we can access tax. I'm going to go ahead and go back to list here. What if I wanted to pull up a few of these properties on a map? I can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and select these three here to the left, and I'll go right here to this button that reads map. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now, whether it's on a map from your search results page, or you're utilizing the interactive map, you have layers that you can launch. And once I launch those layers, look, I have parcels. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to zoom in. You'll see when you have a four-way arrow under layers, it means that parcel is not available or that tool is not available. You'll have to zoom in. So I could click to zoom in, or look, if I zoom in close enough, it will appear. So let's do a little bit closer. So I'm going to click on these. And now whether it's the one that's listed, look, I can go right in and launch tax information. Or here's a property that's not listed. And again, if I click tax information, it's going to launch the property detail report, and there we go. So I just wanted to show you the various different ways you can access Realist. There's so many, you guys, that are phenomenal. So remember, one of those ways is from your MLS dashboard. Another way is when we launch Prospector Plus, and you'll notice even though I switched pages, we still have the access to tax records right here. On our search results page, remember I just ran a recent search, one that I had run previously, and I can get to tax right here by clicking on the little dollar bill. If I click on the listing number here to the left, I can click on the APN to launch the detail report. I can get the neighborhood information for this particular property, and again, it launches Realist. Or lastly, if I launch the interactive map, or just pull up a map and launch that from within a results page. Okay. Once I'm in layers right here, I can select parcels, and that will pull up the individual parcel map for each property. Okay. And again, I will be able to access the tax information. So let me go ahead and go over here to some properties. And sorry, it is pausing for a minute. Okay, there we go. It just was catching up and I was being impatient. So there's your tax information. All right. So what we're going to do today though, is we are going to go ahead and we're going to just click on tax and we're going to launch Realist. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to give you a home page orientation. Now Realist within the last few weeks has had a facelift. So it's in all essence the same as it was before. It just looks a little more streamlined, if you will. So you're going to notice here, I have multiple counties selected. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to click here, change county. I always get asked about recording dates. So you'll notice here, I can search any county in California, like I stated earlier. Now, if I want to see the most recent recording date or the last time the county updated their sales and transactions, I can look over here, and these are the ones I currently have selected. Now, I can choose up to 8 at a time, and the brilliant thing about that is it allows me to do a multi-county, multi-regional search if I have an investor and they own, properties in not only Placer County, but Sacramento County and El Dorado County. I'll be able to pull up all of those at once. It just makes for easier searching, which I love. Now, at any time, I could come in here and I can absolutely take one of these off. If I go, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I decide I'm going to, take off Stanislaus, and maybe I want to go ahead and I want to add, let's go ahead here, and how about Merced, okay? And look at, I can see the most recent recording date, and you'll notice from county to county that varies. Now, once I click apply, you can see my counties have been updated, and I can see that at the top, it's green, okay? So, which is awesome. Now, if I put my cursor over multiple counties selected, it's going to give me each county that I have set as my preference and the most recent recording date for each of those counties, which is nice. Okay, so I wanted to show that to you. Right here, we have a quick search, and we can search by address, owner name, listing number, or APN. We also have a My Search feature that allows you to do some more advanced type searches. You'll notice here from the drop down, if I have saved any search forms or saved searches, and a saved search is a form with criteria typed into it. I can see those here and run them whenever I'd like. You'll also see some preset searches that Realist has provided to you, which are very, very awesome to use. Okay, they do have a count on the fly feature. I'm going to circle it because it's very small. So as I run searches today, you'll see here, right now I'm at 0 matches because I don't have any criteria plugged in, but it will show me if I do have any matches with the criteria that I've typed in, whether that's 1 or 342. You'll notice you can pull up to 3,000 records at a time as displayed below that count on the fly feature right here. All right, some other things. We have some lovely map tools I'll be talking about in the second class, and these are really, really helpful. We can view the screen in a few different formats. We have this, what's called a split screen right here. We have a map view, which is what we're looking at, and we have a list view. So let me show you what those views look like. So here's a split screen. Here is just a map view, just a view of the map, and just a list view. And again, I know I don't have any criteria pulled up, but I could just see those properties on a list view if I'd like to. You'll also notice below here, I can see a satellite view, which is nice. I can see a hybrid view. That is a satellite view with the street overlays. So if I want to zoom into an area, look at that. I can see all the street overlays, streets and cross streets as I'd like. Pulls those up, which is really nice. And I could even see a terrain view. They give you this terrain view here if you would like to view that. And as I zoom out, you'll see that terrain view will get a little more interesting as we, see the hills and the mountains and stuff. The valley is, well, pretty flat. So, as you know, but now you can see the differentiation in terrain here. All right. This up here, you're going to see, we have a way to favorite properties. I'll be showing you that in just a few minutes here. We have some settings and also some help. So there's those little tools in the upper right-hand corner. Whether you are in your table view, and you can see here it says customize table or customize cards, you can go in and modify each one of these to have just the fields or features you want to see on the individual properties. And then you're going to notice here at the bottom, I can export, print, email, pull up address labels, or go in and view the property detail report, just like I showed you earlier. Also, there are various other reports that you can leverage, and they are awesome to utilize. So let's go ahead and we're going to go into some basic searching. So I'm going to take you in here, and You can see here, this right here, it says address and it says 123 Main Street, comma, city, comma, state, and zip. Do you need to put all that information in? No. And look at exactly how you're searching by. You have this drop down here. And if you do begin your search with the address is a very exacting term. It means it is exactly that. So I would be careful if you know that it starts with, you know, a particular house number or street name. That's how I would do that. So let me go ahead and I'm going to use their example 123 Main, and I'm not going to put a suffix. I'm not going to put a city or a zip code, and I'm going to pull that up, and you can see here there's one in Merced and one in Manteca, and you can see those balloons on the screen represent the properties. Which is awesome. So I can pull those up, and here, if you'll see here, I can see this in a card view. And the neat thing is, if I want to pull this up, I can see a little bit more detail on the cards. If I want to drop this back down, I can. And then also, if I want to get a little bit of a better view of this screen here, okay, so you'll see here, if you go in, you're able to, oh, and it looks like, oh, here we go. So you're able to hide the side panel. So here, I'm going to expand the search bar, and it is right up here, collapse the search bar. And so I can kind of collapse that as well. So just to show you some of the, again, as you pull up properties and the different views and looks that you can see. So really great also, if I want to click on any one of these, I can look at a little bit of the information on the property. You can see 2 beds, 1 bath, the sales price and the date. I could zoom in, or I could even see the parcel dimensions, go into the property detail report if I'd like. Same thing for this one here. And again, you're seeing that quick little property card. I'm going to go back to the roadmap and take the terrain view off. Now, if I go back to my quick search here, and you can see I have 2 matches, I can go ahead and clear all, and well, let's go ahead and run another very basic search. So I can search by owner name. How about I do Smith, comma, Tom, and I'm going to click the plus. And now, right now I have 4 matches, and you can see that count on the fly feature. And what if I also want to search by Jones, comma, Mary, okay? And again, now I have 67 matches in total, and I can go ahead and run my search. So you're seeing here, I have some listings all over the map, from it looks like South Lake Tahoe to Cool to Lotus, Napa, Nevada City, Colfax, and I'm looking at the city right here. If I was to click on any one of these properties on the table, I can absolutely pull them up and view them. Or, you know what, if I want to zoom in manually, you'll also notice here in the upper right-hand corner, I can click the plus and zoom in. I can left click and drag the map, and I can, you know, zoom in and see where these properties are geographically within the geography of each other. So now, you might be wondering why some of these are colored and some of them are not. The black is the default color, and it just indicates that a property is, you know, there, and it's pulling up the property that you searched by. This indicates that it was in the MLS previously or currently, which is great. So we do pull the MLS data through to Realist, which is awesome, and you can do a, you know, reverse kind of lookup, if you will. If I was to click on this, I can actually just go back and link back to the MLS and pull that detail, which is fantastic. So I wanted to show that to you right from there. All right, so we could, so you can see here, you can search by multiple owner names. Anytime you guys run a search and you see a little plus, that means you can add multiple owner names or multiple listing numbers or multiple APNs and search all at one time. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to run a different kind of search. And so let's clear some of these off. I'm going to go ahead and let's see this one here, Hernandez Lane. This one looks like it just sold recently. Now look, if I deselect everything right here and I select just this one right here, you see it automatically zooms me in. Now, I love that because I don't have to zoom in myself. Maybe I'm going to zoom out a click. I use the wheel on my mouse, by the way. I can also do that. And guess what? I'm going to clear this search off. And we are going to do another type of search. And that search is going to be used for when I'm going to show you how to customize your table, favorite properties, and even do some address labels. So this can be kind of a marketing type search. So I want to show that to you. So we're kind of moving a little bit from basic to more advanced searching techniques. So I'm going to go into what's called my search here. And when I'm in my search, what I can do is I can use the current search form I have pulled up here. But for today, I want to show you guys how to make your own. And it is so useful for, again, for marketing and whatnot. So if I click the drop down right here under Save Searches, guess what? I can create a new search, and that's what we're going to do today. So please feel free to follow along. So I'm going to click Create New Search. Now I can give this a name, and maybe I am going to use this as a general search. Remember, just because I'm going to add, 5, 10, 15 search fields on this search doesn't mean I have to use them all at once. I can leverage them in many different ways, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So this could be, my favorite search, my general search, my marketing search. It's whatever name you choose to give it that's going to jog your mind as to what this is later on, right? So let's say I'm going to name this my favorite. Okay, so it's my favorite search. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these attributes and I'm going to ask myself, okay, so I know I'm going to I like to attack searching from many different angles. And so let me go through and I want to pick the attributes or the search fields I use the most. So I'm going to go here to owner information, and I like to go through one category at a time. And by the way, you can search up to 30 fields. You can have up to 30 fields in your search form. I will not have that many today, but I just want to show that to you. Sometimes, right, we just search by owner name. Sometimes I search by owner name, so I'm going to leave that included. For marketing purposes, I want to know whether it's owner occupied or not. This search field will allow me to set owner occupied, yes or no, which is awesome. Geography. Okay, sometimes I don't have an owner name. I just have an address. City does come in handy, I will tell you. Maybe I want to search by a street name. I can do that. Subdivision is fascinating, but it is a legal recorded name. So if it's, XYZ subdivision phase, 13, you'll need to know that. You can search APN. I have, maybe I'm going to put in zip code too. Of course, you guys can come back through and add other attributes or AKA search fields as you'd like. Now, characteristics that I like to search by. Bedrooms. How about I'm going to go down here and I'm going to search by stories, total baths. Okay, I have building square feet. How about universal land use? You can even do year built. And again, I'm just kind of picking some at random here. Maybe I have a listing that I just closed and I want to do a little marketing search around that area. I want to send out a postcard which is closed or a marketing piece or whatnot. I can actually add listing number as a search field here. Assessment and tax. I'm not going to add any of these today, but look at, I can add assessed value, block ID, tax area, exemption, homeowner. So you have some fields here that you can leverage, and sales information. Okay, I do like using seller names. Sometimes I do pull up a property, I don't have the current owner's name, but I have the previous seller's name, and that's how I've located a property, or I need to know sale price or recording date. I can go ahead and plug that in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look, and so here all categories, this is everything. But again, I like just going through kind of one menu item at a time. I find it's easier. And if I left click on seller name, I'm holding down my left mouse button, I'm scrolling to the top. Look, maybe I'm going to put that right. I'm going to group like field. So owner name and seller name. Maybe I do address, street name, city, and zip code. I can do bedrooms and bathrooms. Okay, so you guys can organize this or move it around however this makes sense for you. And I'm gonna pull listing number also to the very top. And so that would be one of my favorite searches. Okay, now if I click save here, this is now saved for me forever and always until I delete it. And now once I click apply, it is going to take me right back to my search form. And now we can leverage this. So let me show you a really clever way to leverage this report. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, and we know that that property that I pulled up was right over here on Hernandez Lane. And I am going to use one search option, which is under drawing tools, and I can draw a shape. So I can do a radius, I could do a rectangle or a polygon, and you'll read down here, select a drawing tool above, then click on the map to start drawing a search area. So I'll do the polygon, and I'm gonna left click and drag, and I release my left mouse button. And here, I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna go along the highway here, and I am going to capture this little area. Now you might see some balloons pop up a little outside of the area I'm searching, and I want to show you something again. Look at count on the fly feature, follow the red dot, 235 matches currently. So let's go ahead and preview those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click search, and you will see all those balloons that represent the properties pull up on the map. Now I told you you might see some out of the area here, out of the shape area. Why is that? I want to show you something. Do you see this line? It is touching this parcel in some way, shape, or form, which is why it's showing that particular balloon. So if you see anything outside the area, it's not an error. It is because it is touching that area, okay? And that's why it's pulling up. So I do get that question a lot. All right, before I get into some advanced, some different searching techniques, and before I get into like your email and labels, I do want to go ahead and show you your results grid. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to show you the results grid here. And a cool thing here, I can organize these. So if I want to organize these by, address, okay, I can do so here, and you can see it will organize them ascending or descending numerically. If I want to left click and drag, I can left click and drag, and it will move that column over. Okay, you can also size the columns. Kind of has some Excel type qualities. I left click and drag, and I can, modify those. Something else I can do is if I want to customize this table right here, I can. So I'm going to go ahead and click Customize Table, and there are a few things you can do. Show hide columns. So here, if I want to add more attributes, I can. So you're going to see this looks just like when we created our search form, right? But this is for our output. This is for our grid. So if I want to see, owner information, maybe I want to add owner number 2. I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to put owner information and I'm going to left click and drag up. I find it's easier to organize these before you click apply, whether you're saving a search form or you're customizing your, your table, than it is to organize them after the fact. Okay, but I could add anything else I wanted to. You're going to see characteristics, listing information, okay, sales information, foreclosure, mortgage information, absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and click apply, and anything that you added will now be added to your table. So look at, here's owner number 2. All right, some other things that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead, and if I click customize table, I can show only selected rows. So here, if I deselect all 235 and I just select a few here, so I have these 2 selected, right? I can go here to customize table and I can just show those two. Maybe I want to just focus on a group of 5 or 10 at a time. And I have 235 currently pulled up. That makes it into a little more of a biteable chunk of information, if you will. Okay. So, the next thing here, I'm going to go ahead and reset to my default list, and it will then pull all those properties back up, and I can, again, select them all again. If I want to go, there's also a compact mode, and you can kind of see it makes everything a bit smaller, and it, makes them a little more compact, so I can see all these properties at once. Okay, so I have those options here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and also show you that you can customize not only your table view, but you also have what's called a cards view, which I talked about earlier. So here, and it might be taking a minute to pull up. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, it just took a minute to pull up here. So here is your cards view. Okay, so if I want to pull this up, and you can see the little property cards. It gives you a little synopsis of the property. I can see the address, the owner name, sale price, sales score. I'm going to talk about that in the second class. And I can even favorite or save a property by clicking on the little star there. And I'm going to show you where those live in just a moment. Okay. Now, if I want to customize the cards, you saw with your table, you can add up to 30 attributes, just like a save search. But with your cards view, if you customize, you can only have 3 attributes added. So here, if I want to take something off, let's say I want to remove sales score, and I want to go to sales information, and I want to look at recording date. See how I have that added? I can then click apply, and now you're going to see this will change. And look, now we have recording date shown on the individual cards here. All right, so let's go back to your table view. So, why do we like to favorite properties on the cards? I get that question quite a bit. And the reason why is if you're wanting to do a CMA later on, or you just need to print out property reports, or you just want to look a little more at the detail of the property, you don't have to save a whole search. You can just save an individual property and access that right up here, right where I circled, which is awesome. And let me show it to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go right in and click on this, and you'll see here are all 17 of those properties with those 2 that I just added. Now, if I want to open up all of these in a bigger format, and it's going to kind of close out of this screen here, not necessarily close, but it'll cover it, I'm going to go right here to your saved property. So let's go ahead and take a peek at that. Okay, so here, if I click on go to save properties, here are all 17 of those properties. And I can see if they were previously sold in the MLS. I can see MLS sales price here. I can see when it closed or the recording date. Okay, and I can see a synopsis. For each and every one of these, you can see they're checked right here. Look, I can export these, print, email, or even address labels right here. I could also go right into the reports. If there's any one of these that I want to get rid of, you guys, I can go ahead and just select that individual property, and I can remove that from my saved area. So if I'm going to click on that one, okay, I can remove, again, whichever one I have selected from the saved area, which is awesome. Okay, so again, it's great, again, if you're doing comps, if you want to review the property later, if you need to pull up the detail report, okay, keeping track. It's a nice little kind of almost saved area, almost kind of a kind of like a cart within the MLS, which is awesome. Now, how do I get back to my search screen? So I want to show you, it's right up here. So to your left, you're going to see this back, and I'm going to go ahead and I will click on that, and it will take me out of the saved area, and it's going to take me right back to my search screen with my current search we're working on. Okay, so we ran, I did a little bit of a map search here. We looked at how to customize our table. We looked at how to customize our cards. And we looked at, you guys, where the saved properties go once you do favorite them within the cards. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is we'll talk about address labels and we'll talk about exports. I love kind of wrapping up this class with this little fun tip because it is a great one. All right, so let's go back to your table view. So here we have 235 properties pulled up. How about, what if I want to market to just non-owner occupied properties? Okay, so I can go to owner occupied here and I'm going to hit no, and you're going to see out of the 235 matches, there are 38 that are non-owner occupied. So this could be your target audience, right? Which is phenomenal. So why don't we go ahead and we will utilize these 38 right now, and let's do some address labels. So I'm going to go ahead and click on labels, and again, let me highlight it. It's right here next to email. So I'm going to go ahead and click on labels, and it is going to pull up this format here. So it's going to say, please select your label preference. So do I want to have Avery 5160, 5161, or 5162? The larger the number, the bigger the label. And you can get these from any office supply store. I know even Costco sells them from time to time. Avery 5160 is the most common address label type. Now I can also choose the letter case. I can use mixed case or all capital letters if I choose to. I can use the tax billing address or the property address, okay? If I scroll down here a bit further, I could show the current owner if I want to, or I can put maybe a custom label and I can put current resident, okay? Right here, you'll see I have 5,000 labels or exports I can pull out of this system every month. You can see in July, I have not pulled out any, and I have 38 remaining, okay? I have yet to see anyone go over 5,000 a month. That is a lot of exports. And those exports are a combination of address labels or using the export feature, which will pull them into Excel. So it is a combination of the two. The 5,000 is, by the way. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I do need some version of Microsoft Word. So I'm gonna go ahead and click Create here. And you're going to see I am in Google Chrome, so this is how mine opens right here. Lower left-hand corner, you can see it's a rich text format file, so RTF file. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open it. So I'm gonna click on it and it's gonna launch, okay? And here are the address labels. Okay, and of course you could come up with something else as far as a salutation goes. If I want to highlight everything, that's just a Control A. And I know some of you like these, you know, we like maybe some different fonts. And sometimes the fonts look like handwriting. We can go in here, and I don't think that one looks like symbols. So we don't want wingdings, right? So we can come in here and pick our different fonts. If we want to pick a, you know, make these a little bit larger, we absolutely can, you know, change the color, bold it, file, print. You can save that on your computer, and here's your marketing piece. Just listed, just sold. Hey, I'm having an open house. Hey, would you like me to do a CMA? Whatever the case, they're here for you to utilize. I love, love, love it. Okay, I'm going to close out of these. I'm not going to save them. Okay, and we're going to jump right back to Realist. So that is one way that you can pull address labels out. Now, there are lots of other scenarios that you can leverage if you'd like. And you can see here, I'm going to go, let me go back to my search here. Okay, so you're going to see here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off owner occupied. And what if, let me give you another scenario. What if this neighborhood homes, as soon as they come on the market, they're sold. They're gone just like that. And your client's really looking for a home that, you know, is 4 bedrooms. Okay, exactly. So out of those 235, there are 51 matches. So if I click search, now I could pull those into an address label format if I'd like to, which is awesome, you guys. I could mark it. I could say, hey, your neighborhood is phenomenal. My client would love to live there. Have you thought of selling? I've had a lot of you get listings that way, which is awesome. And then your buyer's super happy because you found them a home. So I love, love, love that scenario. I've seen that one many, many times. How about stories? Okay, someone that just wants a 1-story home. And again, a 235, there are 93. And if I hit search here, you're going to see those 93 properties pull up, and that is your target audience. Or if you have a particular building square footage. Okay, so let me show you export. So if I click on export, I can absolutely just do a quick export, and that's going to be whatever columns here with the field headings I have in my table. Or if I want to customize this, I absolutely can, and I can pick and choose what fields I want to export into Excel. So here you can see I have some different custom exports that I have saved previously, and this one is one of my most recent. So you can see my custom export. Here are the attributes. I have owner name, tax billing address, owner occupied, county, city, state, bedrooms, year built, subdivision, mail carrier route, okay, mortgage information. So here are all of those attributes that I wanted added. Absolutely. Okay, if I want to come in here and I want to add anything else, you can see here, I can add it, and you can see I have sales score on here. If I want to get rid of anything, I absolutely can. Let's say I want to take off listing number. So once I choose an export, or I decide to create a new one and add attributes to it, I can go ahead and export. And again, look at this counts towards your 5,000. So I'm going to go ahead and export. And again, it will throw me back. Okay. I can see here is my CSV file. So I'm going to click on that. And here is my export. So if I have a mail merge, or I'm using this just to keep, maybe I'm keeping some data on this neighborhood, or, here, this is a way I get asked about, sell score. This is the propensity to sell. The larger the number, the more likely these homeowners are to sell their properties. So you can see that here. Really a neat, again, way to pull information out of the system for marketing and whatnot. Okay. All right. Okay, so now one of the last things that I want to show you in here, and it's kind of a fun search to do. I'm going to put in the city of Napa. Let's go ahead and look at Napa. And we'll go ahead and do that. And now what I'm going to do is let's look at universal land use. And I have come across agents that have needed to leverage land use from time to time. And let me go ahead and show you this. I've had agents that have needed to look for orchards and different things to that effect. And so you can see here, I can search from anything from agricultural land to, you can see here, auto sales, avocado groves, to breweries. So I can go all the way down here to zoos, you guys. It's pretty amazing what you can search for in here. So if I go down and I want to search, and let's go ahead and search for winery, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and click apply. And you're going to see here 139 matches, and you'll probably see some familiar names. Look at Mondavi, Stonebridge, pretty amazing, right? But here are all of the wineries with that particular land use. So if you ever do need to find a property within a particular land use, there you have it right here. Phenomenal little search. All right, so that is your Realist overview. So just a recap of what we covered today. Okay, we went over how to access Realist Tax. And you guys, so many different access points, from your MLS dashboard to launching Prospector Plus and just going directly into tax from your search results and your one-line grid and clicking on the dollar bill, to, well, when you click on a listing number and go into the APN, or use the map and add that parcel layer to access tax. We went over the whole homepage orientation, just kind of the ins and outs of your entire homepage of Realist, just getting you acclimated to that particular homepage. We went through some basic searching. You have your general search and your my search. So we went over some basic searching. Then we kind of went into some more advanced searching under my search. We created a search form. And then I showed you a little bit about search results, your grid, your cards view, how to customize those, favorite properties, sort and organize. And then we went ahead and drew on the map, and we went through your labels and exports, how to use Realist for marketing, which is awesome, you guys. And we leveraged that search that we created, our favorite search, right, to pull up properties by bedrooms, you guys, by owner occupied, non-owner occupied. We absolutely went in and searched by stories and even universal land use. So we pulled those into your label format. And remember, you have, again, 5,000 exports you can pull per month. So if you're coming in here and you're just kind of playing around and testing, I would not check, 200 or 300 properties at a time, because that uses your exports. There is no kind of a test for those. So just be careful when you're doing that. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for your time today. I love sharing all this information with you. It is a phenomenal little program. Here is our information for our education department. Here is our phone number and our extension, or you can reach out also via email, training@metrolist.net.